Thank you to EA for sponsoring this video. This game is horrible. I'm just kidding. I just figured most of you would expect me to say that. I want to start off by saying this is not the game I wanted. I wanted a super hardcore sim, and this is not it. But this game is tons of fun, and I can definitely recommend any rally fan pick it up for 3 reasons at least. 1, multiplayer. 2, time trials. 3, Kenya. Yes, it's that good. Now with the basics out of the way, let's go a bit deeper on my main points of discrepancy. We're going to go back and forth between, pros and cons and pros. Here we go. We're going to mix it in a pot, a melting pot, if you will, of thoughts. Performance. Now, right now, this game is very much lacking. Tons of huge stutters and micro stutters littered throughout the stages. Low FPS with a 3090 and 5950X, 64 gigabytes of RAM is inexcusable. But am I confident that the game will be improved? Yes. Am I confident that eventually I'll be able to play this game with 120 frames, maybe even 240 frames per second? Maybe not that last one, but 120 frames solid. I think we can achieve that with 3090s. They have released a patch already, and it has made things better, but it's still not quite good. Now, something that's great, tons of miles of road to drive. Do I wish there was more? Always. Is 600 kilometers, I know I went from miles to kilometers, but I don't know what the breakdown is for miles, so I'm going to say kilometers. Is 600 kilometers a great number? Yes. Now, the second biggest deal to me right now is the damage model. The damage model is very forgiving, even in hardcore mode. I put that in air quotes there. It's absolutely ridiculous how much damage these cars can take with very little mechanical damage. Like, you could crash into a wall at 60, 70 miles an hour, and a lot of times you're fine. Now, you can also get terminal damage, right? But you have to hit it just right to get that to happen for some reason. But it feels even more forgiving than Dirt Rally 2.0, and Dirt Rally 2.0 felt very forgiving. Now, I want to clarify, I'm fine with the level of visual damage we have right now. I want more mechanical damage. I want it to be harder to steer. I want a wheel to pop off easier. If I hit a rock at high speed sideways, I want that wheel to come off. I want the tire to debead. I want my alignment shot, my suspension ripped off. I want dampers blown. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, not visual damage. I don't care what it looks like, if it's all crumpled up, whatever. Toyota, you can make your cars look pretty in games forever. I don't care. Your car crushes just the same in real life as every other car. You can't hide. We see you. Your cars crumble. Going back to Kenya, we're doing Kenya in this footage here. This stage is amazing. Kudos to the stage designer because they did a very good job. These stages feel great. Are there some graphical assets that I'm not a fan of? Yes. But do they feel convincing in a lot of ways? Yes. Do I want to keep on driving these roads for the rest of time? Yes. Do I want to take time off of work to play this game, to drive these roads? Yes, I do. Another one of my biggest complaints, though, is the user interface. It is very clunky. Not clunky like it's not responsive. I mean, there's too many menus you have to go through to get to what you want to adjust. For instance, there are 2 graphics tabs. They're spaced apart for some reason instead of right on top of each other or in the same tab. Makes no sense to me. It was an absolute nightmare for the initial setup of my wheelbase. Now, if you have a Fanatic or if you have like something that's on the list, I'm sure it'd be much easier. But if you have a more obscure wheelbase, Camus or Moza, companies like that, you're going to have a harder time setting things up. It took me days to figure out how to change the co-driver voice. It should just be in the audio menu. I don't know why everything's so separated in menu this, menu that. Make everything to do with sound in audio. Make everything to do with visuals in graphics, whatever. Simplify. Don't give me more tabs. I want less tabs, but more flexibility. Now, another thing I want to mention that's kind of in the same vein is how limited your ability to change your cockpit view, adjusting your seat forward and back, FOV, things like that. Very limiting. You also can't adjust where your gauges are. Like, let's say your camera view is like this in this run right here. I'm in a Rally 1 car. I want it to be zoomed in because my monitor is kind of far away. So I want as much window real estate on my screen, my monitor, as possible. So I had to get a gauge on the screen, but I can't put that gauge anywhere I want. It's right there. It's glued. I cannot move it. I don't like that. Please change that. Do it! Now let's go to something positive. The force feedback, in my opinion, feels better than Dirt Rally 2.0. Now, it could be that just I have different gear since last time I played Dirt Rally 2.0, or it could be that I just stumbled across a better feeling tune on the force feedback. But from what I'm experiencing right now, Dirt Rally 2 feels inferior to this game force feedback wise. So good job, team. I like the force feedback. I do wish there was more fine detail, more road noise. So if I'm driving, regardless of speed, I need more small vibrations through the wheel. Now, getting back to the negatives, I feel like every single car in this game has too much grip. And what I mean by that is if you lose grip, if you lose traction, you can regain it too quickly. If you lose control of your car, you can almost always recover, which is not realistic. I do want to remind you all that I have never driven a Rally 1 car in real life. So it's possible these cars have that much grip, but when I look at real life footage, onboards, external shots, whatever, of real life footage, I don't see that these cars have as much grip as they do in this game. Does it feel good? Arguably, yes, it does. It feels great to have that much grip, to have this much control of the car. But do I wish it was lessened to be more realistic? Yes. It could just be that I'm that good at recovering my car, but I don't think so. I've spun out many times in real life to where I have no control of the car because I've lost all control. When you have that sensation in this game, you can almost always recover it, and I don't like that. Does it make the game more fun? Yes. Does it make it less realistic? Yes. I like how I'm answering a lot of my own questions. I'm presenting myself with a question, and then I'm saying yes or no to it. So I'm going to probably do that a little bit more in the video. I'm going to try to be aware of that now and stop doing that. Actually, I'm probably going to do it more. Here we go. An absolutely gigantic roster of cars. You will find something you like in this game. Whether you are an old school person, a new school person, a kind of old school person, a kind of new school person, you're going to find a car that you love to drive in this game. Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, no-wheel drive, if you crash enough, which is really hard to do. I've only lost, I think, one tire since I've played this game. I don't think it's possible to lose all four wheels in this game. So, the only time you're going to have no-wheel drive is if you're in the air. Red Bull gives you wings. Please don't copyright this video like you did my last one, Red Bull. Thank you. Please do not. Don't! Now we're going to talk about something controversial. This is pretty much 100% to do with preference, right? I don't like either of the co-drivers. Now, would I like them in real life? Maybe, right? Would I go out to dinner with either one of them? Yes, I would. I'm back to answering my own questions. Are they probably both nice people? I think so. They look like wonderful people, but I don't like the woman's voice. I just don't. I'm sorry, ma'am, if you're watching this. Now, the guy, I don't think that he has enough emphasis on things he says to notify you of upcoming obstacles. He doesn't convey that something dangerous is coming up through his voice. You know, people have been describing him as a robot or an AI voice, and it feels like there's no real energy in the vocal performance, in my opinion. But there are also a lot of inconsistencies to the pace notes, a lot of missing details. If there's like rocks on the outside of a corner that you need to know about, a lot of times they're left out. And there's a lot of times that the pace notes are very late too. They are fixing those. A lot of the things I'm complaining about are actively being worked on, so please be mindful of that. Going back to the grip levels, I will say it is improved over Dirt Rally 2.0, both loose surface and paved surfaces. Mostly. I do still disagree with the paved surfaces being so grippy to where like you almost can't get the car to slide for any significant period of time unless you like really work the car. It's really hard to feel that transition from gripping to no gripping. It's almost like instant. It's very vague, but it is vastly improved over Dirt Rally 2.0. It feels less like the car is pivoting in the center. And I know a lot of people are going to give me poo-poo for saying that, but I still feel like there's something wrong with the way the cars rotate in this game. But it feels much better than Dirt Rally 2.0. So if you liked Dirt Rally 2.0, I think you'll like this even better. And if you didn't like Dirt Rally 2.0, I think you'll like this even better. Now, graphics. This is another big point here. And a lot of people disagree with each other on this, but I don't think this looks like a next generation game. I run my game on Ultra. and it looks like a last generation game. The dust particles specifically, though, look second best only to Assetto Corsa modded. The particle effects in Assetto Corsa through Content Manager is amazing. But yeah, snow doesn't even touch your windshield. The water effect on the lens, like when it's actually like looking through a camera, looks absolutely horrible. If you look at the clouds, someone in a live stream pointed out the clouds to me, and they were right. A static image, it looks like, and they've put a sort of a rolling wave effect over the clouds to make it look like the clouds are moving, and it looks absolutely horrible. I wish they would not have done that. Please just make it a static image. Please. The multiplayer is some of the best in any games I've played. You're not racing head-to-head on the same course, like you're all on the course alone. It feels like you're all in it together, and it feels rewarding when you do well in multiplayer in this game. The sound is excellent. Now, there's certain things that I would like to sound sharper. I would like there to be more dirt and gravel hitting the underside of the car, the engine noises to be a little bit sharper. But other than that, like a lot of the sounds that they've captured feel authentic. So let's go over the game modes here. I have no interest in career mode. I have no interest in regularity mode. I have no interest in moments. I only have interest in time trials, multiplayer, clubs, and maybe even the training. I think moments could have just been gone from the game. I think regularity is, it feels like a distraction, and I don't see myself ever doing it again. I'm just saying, like, I would have rather the development team spent more time on the core gameplay and the core game, but it is nice that they're there. The career mode is much more detailed than previous Codemasters games that I've played, but it's more geared towards people wanting to feel like they are progressing through the game rather than simply enjoying the cars and the stages like I would like to do. So yeah, overall, it's a much better experience than I was expecting. You know, I was expecting this game to be an absolute mess, and it is in a lot of ways right now, right? Like the performance needs to be addressed, but can I recommend the game right now to buy? Yes, I can. And that's weird for me to say that with how much I've complained about the visuals, the physics not being to my liking, whatever. But it is a very, very fun game, especially if you're into rally already. For the most part, it feels great. Go buy the game. Have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.